Welcome to Awakening Heaven on Earth. Before we begin, take a moment to arrive. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to believe, and nowhere you need to go. Simply listen, contemplate, and notice what stirs and resonates within you. This is a shared space of reflection, presence, and remembrance. Now, let us begin. Welcome to this episode focused on one source, one light, the unity of all paths, sacred text references. In this episode, we listen for the sacred thread that runs through the wisdom traditions of the world. Not to make all paths the same, not to erase difference, and not to flatten the mystery into one narrow form, but to hear the deeper harmony beneath the many voices. One source, one light, one sacred thread of love. As we listen, receive each sacred text slowly. Allow the teaching to become personal, and then let the heart respond in prayer. Let us begin. In Christianity, in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 16. Jesus says, "I have other sheep that are not of this fold. I must bring them also." First, receive these words slowly. I have other sheep that are not of this fold. I must bring them also. Now allow this teaching to become personal. Where have I imagined the fold of God to be smaller than the love of God? Where have I assumed that the divine could only be found among those who speak my language, worship in my way, or carry my tradition? This teaching widens the heart. It reminds us that the Good Shepherd is not bound by the boundaries we draw. The love of God reaches beyond every enclosure, every label, every tribe, and every religious wall. And now offer this response as a quiet prayer. Holy One, expand my understanding of your flock. Help me see those I once called outsiders as beloved members of your care. Teach me to trust that your love is wider than my categories. Amen. In Islam, in the Quran, Surah 2, verse 62. Indeed, those who believe, and those who are Jews or Christians or Sabaeans, whoever believes in God and the last day and does righteousness will have their reward with their Lord. First, receive these words slowly. Whoever believes in God and the last day and does righteousness will have their reward with their Lord. Now allow this teaching to become personal. What if righteousness matters more than religious superiority? What if sincerity, devotion, and the fruit of a life lived in goodness reveal more than the name by which a person identifies? This sacred teaching points us toward humility. It does not invite arrogance, contempt, or spiritual pride. It invites reverence before the mercy of God, who sees the heart, the intention, and the life lived in righteousness. And now offer this response as a quiet prayer. Merciful One, Teach me to honor sincere faith wherever it appears. Help me look for righteousness, compassion, humility, and devotion. May I never use religion to deny the mercy that belongs to you alone. Amen. In Hinduism. In the Rig Veda, Book 1, Hymn 164, verse 46. Truth is one, the wise call it by many names. First, receive these words slowly. Truth is one. The wise call it by many names. Now allow this teaching to become personal. What happens in me when I hear the sacred name differently? Do I become afraid, defensive, or dismissive? Or can I become curious, humble, and reverent? This teaching does not erase the names. It honors them. It recognizes that language reaches toward mystery, but mystery is always greater than language. The wise do not fight over the names. They seek the truth to which the names point. And now, offer this response as a quiet prayer. Eternal truth. Free me from clinging to the name while forgetting the presence. Teach me to honor the many names without losing sight of the one. Let wisdom make me spacious, not proud. Amen. In Hinduism. In the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 11. Krishna teaches, however people approach me, in that same way I receive them. All paths lead to me. First, receive these words slowly. However people approach me, in that same way I receive them. All paths lead to me. Now allow this teaching to become personal. Can I trust that the divine meets each soul in the language that soul can understand? Can I honor the many ways people approach the holy through devotion, service, silence, study, love, surrender, and wonder? This teaching invites us to see spiritual diversity not as a threat, but as mercy. The divine meets us where we are and draws us deeper into the one. And now offer this response as a quiet prayer. Beloved Source, thank you for meeting each soul with compassion. Help me honor the path by which another approaches you. May I walk my own path deeply while blessing the paths of others. Amen. In Buddhism, in the Dhammapada, verse 5. Hatred is never appeased by hatred in this world. By non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. This is a law eternal. First, receive these words slowly. Hatred is never appeased by hatred. By non-hatred alone is hatred appeased. Now allow this teaching to become personal. Where has spiritual certainty hardened into judgment within me? Where have I allowed disagreement to become contempt? Where have I tried to defend truth in a way that no longer looked like love? This teaching is simple and demanding. Hatred cannot heal hatred. Fear cannot heal fear. Division cannot heal division. Only love, compassion, patience, and non-hatred can interrupt the ancient cycle. And now offer this response as a quiet prayer. Awakened compassion, Soften every place in me that still reacts with hatred. Help me meet fear with steadiness and division with love. May I become a healing presence in a divided world. Amen. In Judaism, in the book of the prophet Micah, chapter 6, verse 8, what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, love mercy, and walk humbly with your God. First, receive these words slowly. Act justly. Love mercy. Walk humbly with your God. Now, allow this teaching to become personal. What if the sacred thread is not hidden? What if it is as simple and as demanding as justice, mercy, and humility? This teaching gives us a measure for spiritual life. Does my path make me more just? Does it make me more merciful? Does it make me more humble? If not, I may be holding the form while losing the essence. And now offer this response as a quiet prayer. God of justice and mercy, teach me what you require. Amen. In the Bahá'í Faith, Baha'u'llah teaches, the earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens. First, receive these words slowly. The earth is but one country, and mankind its citizens. Now allow this teaching to become personal. This teaching calls us beyond tribal fear. And now offer this response as a quiet prayer. One light, awaken in me the consciousness of one human family. Help me live beyond fear, prejudice, and inherited division. May I serve the healing of the whole earth. Amen. In Sikhism, the Guru Granth Sahib teaches, I see no stranger, I see no enemy. First, receive these words slowly. I see no stranger, I see no enemy. Now allow this teaching to become personal. Who have I been taught to see as stranger? Who have I been taught to see as enemy? What would happen if I looked again through the eyes of the soul? This teaching does not deny harm or injustice, but it refuses to reduce another being to separation. It reminds us that beneath fear, beneath conflict, and beneath difference, there is a deeper kinship. And now, offer this response as a quiet prayer. Divine Friend, cleanse my sight. Help me see beyond the labels of stranger and enemy. May I respond to every soul with courage, clarity, and compassion. Amen. In Taoism, the Tao Te Ching teaches, the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. First, receive these words slowly. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. The name that can be named is not the eternal name. Now allow this teaching to become personal. Where have I mistaken my words about the sacred for the sacred itself? Where have I tried to capture mystery inside a concept, a doctrine, or a name? This teaching humbles the mind. It reminds us that the real is always greater than our descriptions of it. Names can guide us, symbols can help us, teachings can open us. But the eternal cannot be owned by language. And now offer this response as a quiet prayer. Nameless mystery, lead me beyond pride and my own understanding. Let my words point toward you without pretending to contain you. Teach me reverence before the mystery beyond all names. Amen. In Jainism, the Jain teaching from the Tattvartha Sutra says, living beings render service to one another. First, receive these words slowly. Living beings render service to one another. Now, allow this teaching to become personal. What if my life is not separate from the life around me? What if every breath, meal, shelter, relationship, and moment of survival depends on countless beings seen and unseen? This teaching reveals interdependence as sacred truth. No being lives alone, no path awakens alone, no soul becomes whole by forgetting the web of life. The sacred thread is not only theological, it is relational, ecological, and embodied in the mutual service of life itself. And now offer this response as a quiet prayer. Holy web of life, awaken my gratitude for all beings who sustain me. Teach me to live gently, serve humbly, and harm less. May my life become part of the healing of the whole. Amen. In Indigenous wisdom, many Indigenous traditions express sacred kinship through the prayer, all my relations. First, receive these words slowly. All my relations. Now, allow this teaching to become personal. Can I feel the sacred thread not only among religions, but among all beings? The ancestors, the children yet to come, the animals, the rivers, the mountains, the plants, and the unseen helpers? This teaching widens unity beyond belief. It reminds us that spirituality is not only what we think about God, it is how we live in relationship with the whole circle of life. All my relations means nothing is outside the circle of care. And now, offer this response as a quiet prayer. Great Spirit, help me remember the sacred circle. Teach me to live as kin to the earth, the ancestors, future generations, and all beings. May I honor all my relations with humility and love. Amen. Let us pause now and listen for the shared sacred thread. Other sheep, many names, one truth, non-hatred, justice, mercy, humility, one human family, no stranger, no enemy, mystery beyond all names, mutual service, and all my relations. This is the sacred thread. Not sameness, but harmony. Not one form, but one source. Not one name, but one light. The traditions do not need to become identical in order to reveal unity. A garden is not beautiful because every flower is the same. A song is not beautiful because every note is identical. A tapestry is not beautiful because every thread has the same color. Beauty appears when difference is held in harmony. So it is with the paths of the human family. Every path must be tested by its fruit. Does it deepen love? Does it awaken compassion? Does it serve justice? Does it soften the ego? Does it protect the vulnerable? Does it honor the earth? Does it heal division? Does it lead the soul toward the one? Where the fruit is love, the sacred thread is present. Where the fruit is mercy, the sacred thread is present. Where the fruit is humility, the sacred thread is present. Where the fruit is justice, the sacred thread is present. Where the fruit is compassion, the sacred thread is present. Where the fruit is unity, the light is shining. Now let us enter a time of communion with the divine. Please repeat after me. Beloved One, beyond all names. Open my heart to the sacred thread that runs through every true teaching. Help me honor the path I have been given without using it as a wall against others. Teach me to recognize your love in languages I do not speak. Rituals I do not know. And traditions I do not fully understand. Free me from spiritual pride, inherited fear, and the need to possess what can only be lived. Make me a bridge of reverence, a listener of the heart, and a servant of the one light. May I seek the thread of love wherever it appears. May I walk humbly with all sincere seekers. May I live the truth more than argue about it. May I become love. May I become unity. May I become light. Om. Peace. Amen. One source, one light, many paths, one sacred thread. As we come to a close, remember that this journey continues in many expressions. This podcast is part of a family of partner podcasts. Awakening Heaven on Earth. The space between heaven and earth, and Living Heaven on Earth are 3 companion podcasts exploring spiritual awakening from complementary perspectives. Awakening Heaven on Earth offers the core teachings and mystical reflections on unity, love, and conscious living. The space between creates room for dialogue, reflection, and lived conversation around those teachings. Living Heaven on Earth focuses on basic spiritual practices that help embody these insights in daily life. Together, they form a unified journey of understanding, experience, and integration, inviting listeners to remember their connection with the divine, with one another, and with the living world. You can find all of them available on the same podcast streaming platforms wherever you listen. And if music helps carry these teachings deeper into the heart, the Unity, Awakening Heaven on Earth album is available on all major music streaming services as a musical companion to this journey. Wherever you engage, through listening, reflection, conversation, or music, may it gently remind you you are not separate. You belong to the one life. And heaven is already unfolding within you. Until next time, walk gently, love deeply, and embody heaven on earth.